Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created this look right here. I did a colorful look recently, so I wanted to balance out the scales and bring you guys a really pretty soft glam. It's very neutral, very subtle, but it's winged out. So it definitely has that little bit of smokiness. We have a little bit of glitter going on the lower lash line. So it's a really pretty look. And I'm also using the transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics. I recently got this palette and this is actually the second or third look that I'm actually doing with this palette. So I'm pleasantly surprised with how much use I'm actually getting out of this palette. It is so pretty. It's definitely just your average neutral palette, but I feel like the colors are so unique. So I am using just this eyeshadow palette today to create this look. And yeah, so before we jump into today's video, please don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys have not already. And of course, without further ado, if you guys would like to see how I created this really pretty glam today, then just keep on watching. So let's go ahead and jump into today's look. I'm going to start off by prepping my eyelid with my P. Louise base in the shade Rumor number 2. By the way, if you guys hear any noises, the family is home today. It is Easter Sunday, so happy Easter to those who celebrate. That is when I'm doing this voiceover, so I apologize for any noises. So jumping into the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using in today's video, this is the Dominique Cosmetics Transition Palette. I'm first going to be going into the shade Coffee Beans, which is a much deeper, darker brown than what's showing up on camera for sure. So I'm going to be taking this color on a blending brush and I'm going to go ahead and pack it into my crease, of course building up the intensity until I feel like it's at its darkest and it's basically not building up anymore. So once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just blend out those edges. And then the next shade I'm going to jump into is the shade called Mocha, which is a super beautiful mocha brown. And I'm going to actually be using this shade to go ahead and blend out those edges, of course. And you guys, this is such a neutral look, so it's super easy. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. The next shade I'm going to be using is the shade called Hazelnut, and I'm going to use this on a fluffier brush to go ahead and start to diffuse all of those dark browns. I want to make sure that it has a really nice faded kind of gradient look. I don't want any of the lines to be super harsh. So that's what I'm going to do here. After this, I'm basically going to start to build up the colors because now I know exactly where everything is going to be going. And I'm also going to go ahead and wing out this shadow. You guys do not have to wing it out. You can leave it in more of that rounded shape, but I did want to wing it out for today, so that is what I'm doing here. So I just wanted to let you guys know. So I'm not using any additional shades. I'm just going back in with each one and just winging it out. So moving on to cutting the crease, I'm going to be using my blank canvas, of course. And guess what? I am not cleaning up my lid today, girl. This wasn't for any particular reason except for the fact that I was being super lazy and the Q-tips and makeup remover were on the other side of the room, and I was like, you know what? Girl, I'm not trying to get on my chair. So I went ahead and cut my crease without it, and it was difficult. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't know where to put my cut crease. I was really struggling. So I definitely recommend that you guys do my little Q-tip and my cellar water little trick because girl, I was struggling. I couldn't figure out exactly where to put the cut crease, so it took me forever, but we got it done. So now that my crease is nice and cut, I'm just going to go back into the shade called Coffee Beans, and I'm just going to pack this on the outer corner of my eye. And then I did go in with a little bit of the shade Hazelnut as well, and I just put that in front of the shade Coffee Bean. So now for liner, I'm going to be using the Stila liner in the shade Dark Brown, and I'm just going to go ahead and line my lash line like I always do. I usually do this with a black, but because today's look was very neutral, I wanted to keep it very nice and soft, so I went ahead and used a dark brown instead. So for lashes today, I'm going to be using these right here. So these lashes right here are from the brand Beauty Chick Studios, which is actually a brand that was created by my girl Vanessa. I am so proud of her, and these lashes are so beautiful. I wanted to feature them in today's video, so I went ahead and popped on the lash, of course. So moving on to the face makeup, I'm going to be using the Juno & Co. Moonshine Miracle Cream. Haven't used this in a hot minute, and I forgot how much I actually like this primer. So now for foundation, I'm going in with the Hard Candy Glamouflage foundation. This one I believe is in the shade Olive. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that's the shade. You guys see me use this in my last tutorial. I am obsessed, you guys. It is so freaking beautiful. It looks so nice on the skin, but it's like full heavy duty coverage. Like this plays no games, okay? So nice, and it's also super affordable, and if you guys are interested, you can find it at Walmart. For cream bronzer today, I'm going to be using the Nude Sticks Cream Bronzer in the shade Bondi Bay. You guys, I'm obsessed with this recently. It is so good. And of course, I'm applying it with my Fenty Beauty 125 face brush. Love this brush. It is so bomb. And it just applies it so beautifully, and it blends it as well. So it's literally perfection. It does all the work for you. I highly recommend you guys give it a try, especially because you guys know the Sephora sale is coming, so you can get a discount on it. So usually when I do my cream bronzer, whatever's left on my brush, I'll go ahead and apply it to the sides of my nose, so that way there's a little bronziness on the nose as well. For concealer today, I wanted to use an oldie but goodie. This is the Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer. It is full coverage, it's creamy, and it looks so beautiful underneath the eyes. I'm using mine in the shade Cream Cafe. I love this concealer, you guys. It is so bomb. I'm also, as you guys can see here, going to apply that concealer underneath that winged out shadow. This is going to be like a little trick, so that way it kind of cleans up that edge of that eyeshadow for you, so that way you have a really nice sharp line once the look is completed. So that's a little tip. It's not something that I made up. A lot of makeup artists do this, and it's such a great tip, you guys, because it makes your life so much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and set my under eyes in place. I'm just using my Collab Set the Stage powder. I didn't show you guys the powder, but that's the one that I'm using today. You guys know I'm obsessed with it. You guys can find it at Sally's, and everything will be linked down below as always, so you guys can find it super easily. So jumping in to setting the rest of my face, I'm going to be using the number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder. Love this powder, you guys. It leaves your skin with a really pretty luminous kind of finish, but it's not glittery. There's no shimmer in here whatsoever. It is like magic. Like, it leaves your skin looking so healthy and glowy. Obsessed with it. And then for bronzer, I'm going to be using this bronze duo from Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. I'm not using the blush today, but I'm using the bronzer, and this shade is darker than the shade that you guys recently saw me use in a video, and I have to say I actually liked this one so much more. It has so much more color. I'm going to leave the name down below. And then for blush, I'm going to be using the KVD Beauty blush in the shade Honeysuckle, one of my favorites, and I am applying it with a stipple brush, so that way it's nice and diffused. For highlight, I'm going to be using the Dior Backstage Glow palette in the shade Pure Gold. I just recently found out, thanks to one of you guys, that this was actually limited edition for the holidays, so you can't get it. I'm so sorry, you guys, but it's so beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is nice and blended by just going over it with my blush brush. So moving back into the lower lash line, I'm going to go ahead and line my waterline using the Too Faced Killer Liner in the shade Killer Cashmere. And then jumping right back into the palette, I'm going to go back into the shade Coffee Beans. And I'm actually going to take this on a flat definer brush and just press it super close to my lower lash line. And then I'm going to actually diffuse that color with the shade Hazelnut and mix a little bit of the shade Mocha as well, just to make sure it's nice and blended. So I wanted to add a little pizzazz to this matte look, so I'm going to be going in with this Urban Decay glitter. I'll leave the name of it down below. And I'm just going to take this into the inner corner and kind of like the inner part of the lower lash line, just to add a little bit of shimmer. It wasn't anything too crazy. And then I just added a good coat of some lower lash mascara. This one right here is from MAC. And then now that the eyes are pretty much complete and the complexion is on, I did go back in and kind of wing out that shadow one more time, because it kind of got lost once I did my complexion. And then to go ahead and set everything in place, I'm going to be using the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Mist. You guys know I love me a dewy moment. Also, I didn't show my lip combo in the video, but I'll leave it down below. And I like to leave my face just a little bit damp, so that way I can do this step, which is go back in with a little bit more highlights. And honey, she is glowing. So that basically completes today's makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.